Hello, I welcome you all on behalf of PCLS. I, Tanya Mumtaz, research scholar of Sharda University. Today we are going to have a lecture on Shashi Deshpande endorsing women's literature through the literary analysis of her writing. So, first of all, I would like to tell you that we have started the lecture series which we were doing, but we stopped doing it for a short period of time, but it will continue. And the next lecture, which is very important, will be on 30th of September by Vikas Sharma sir. So today's lecture, as I said that about women's literature through the critical analysis or analysis of Shashi Deshpande's writing. So, as we all know that women represent almost half of the total population of our country, and no scheme, whether in the field of economic development and social development, can be successful unless women play their constructive role in such programs. So, in spite of all the social imbalance which exists in society, there has been considerable improvement in their social status. So, the status of women in society has seen many ups and downs. So, and the credit which I say that, we have started witnessing the change through women's writing as well. We have got new insight through women's writing. So today, if we see, women writer contributes a major segment of contemporary writing in English, and it provides us understanding, a better insight, a reservoir of meaning and basis of discussion. So yeah, that's why women's writing is giving us new opportunities, and we are heading towards a new change to make in the world. So first, I would like to introduce just a short introduction of Shashi Deshpande as well, on whom we are discussing. I just want to request all of you that please put yourself on mute so that no disturbance would create while we are having a discussion. So Shashi Deshpande is a contemporary writer, and she was educated in Bombay and Bangalore, and Deshpande has degrees in economics and law, and she studied journalism at Vidya Bhavan and worked for a few months as a journalist for a magazine Onlooker also. She published her first collection of short stories in 1978, her first novel The Dark Holds No Terror in 1980, and also she won the Sahitya Academy Award for the novel That Long Silence in 1990, and the Padma Shri in 2009, and That Long Silence is my ultimate favorite for for a very long time. So yeah, now I would like to introduce our speaker for today's event, Dr. Shaminaz, who would be giving insight and who would be speaking on this particular topic. So Dr. Shaminaz is the author and co-author of editor, translator of 25 international books, which includes short stories, collections, poetries and anthologies, literary articles, criticism and travelogue. She was born on 6th of July 1981 in Allahabad, India. Her latest book is multilingual anthology, Maganda Tula. It is a bilingual poetry anthology. Her books include, some of her recent books include Sunehre Loves, Kavita Sangra, Camp of Resistance and Fields of Consciousness, Domestic Violence, Volume 2, Demonetization Era, a fictional representation, Golden Words multilingual poetry anthology, and 19 other books. Being a prolific writer, she holds a DPhil degree in English literature from Allahabad University, India, with a specialization in South Asian writers and new literature. She is an orator and has been invited by many international colleges and universities to deliver lectures. She has published poems in many international magazines and journals around the globe. She is currently teaching English literature at Rajarshi Tandon Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Allahabad since 2018. She has taught English literature and language at SS Khanna Girls Degree College, even Christian College, Allahabad University, and communication skills at Allahabad conferences all over India. She is a member and she's the member of the editorial board of many international journals as well, including a journal from Macedonia, KJS. It is a journal from Azerbaijan. Anglitism, it is from Macedonia. IJRHS from Jordan. Cyber Literature and Online Journal, The Context, English Literature Society, Literary Miscellany, Research Access and Expression, Livre Literaire, which is a France, Germany-based USA journal. I may pronounce it wrong also, so please forgive me for that. She's also the board of director of Wildfire Magazine USA. And here we have her today and on the digital forum of PCLS. She is the founder and president of Progressive Literary and Cultural Society, which is an international organization of global literature and culture, and has successfully organized global Golden Words Uzbek Virtual Poetry Festival on 19th and 20th December 2020. So I am highly pleased. I am glad to welcome Dr. Shaminaz today to start her lecture. Thank you so much for listening. Dr. Shaminaz, please, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dania, for your wonderful introduction. A very good evening to all the writers, scholars around the world, and especially to the women writer and women scholar around the world. Though we are also competing with our male counterpart, male writers, male scholars around the world, but still more or less everywhere we are categorized as women writer or women. I think that mostly it is for the women, this categorization on the basis of gender, and I have seen only somewhere like for black writers as they are categorized as black women writer and black men writer, but not for all kinds of writer. This term male female is not being categorized. So there are many writers like Shashi Deshpande, Bapsi Sidhwa and Taslima Nasreen who don't like this kind of gender-based literary analysis. So today I will be focusing only on one writer, and that is Shashi Deshpande, who is one of my favorite writers. So the title of my lecture is Endorsing Women Literature as Women Literature, Shashi Deshpande's Criticism of Gender-Based Literary Analysis. This paper I wrote some years back, and I still hold the same opinion. So tradition and modernity. Like we educated women, we are modern in our outlook, and because we have gained higher education, but somewhere or other we are caught up in the tradition, belonging to a family in which we live, belonging to a society which is highly based on tradition and moral values and norms. So these kind of women are a character in Shashi Deshpande, most of Shashi Deshpande's novel. So women who are trying to break the age-old custom and tradition prevalent in the society, and that women should get equal rights and opportunity with men, are center of focus for Shashi Deshpande. Now see that women writers around the world have acclaimed themselves, and the women writer of India are not apart from it. They have produced works of great quality and are not lagging behind their male counterpart. International community has also given them recognition through prizes, award and honor, like for example Arundhati Roy for God of All Things, and Pulitzer Prize winner Jhumpa Lahiri. So, and there are many more writers who are internationally acclaimed, like Shashi Deshpande, Anita Desai, and Kiran Desai won for, Booker for her inheritance of laws. So as we see that now women writers are trying to bring new vision, ideas and thoughts in their writing while rejecting the old one. As Shashi Deshpande reflect her views, I quote, women writers have been received with a new vision that rejects the male norms, and therefore the charges that women writing is marginal, trivial, minor are no longer tenable. Feminist theory says that you can no longer assume that the writer, reader, critic is a male. When you read, you have to take into account the men and women have different experiences, values, ways of expression, and sometimes even language. In, uh, in a sense, we inhabit two different worlds. We have to make an effort to understand the world of other. Unquote. She further elaborates her point. So we see that in some 2 centuries back, women writers have struggled to write. For example, Mary Ann Evans has to take up the name of a male, George Eliot, to begin her writing career or to establish herself in the field of writing. Even Jane Austen has faced many problems during her career, and only 1 or 2 of her novels were published during her lifetime, and they were mostly published posthumously. And we all know the example which cases like Tale of Triumph, Celebration, A Joyous Retrieval, etc., which are used for them. Undergone some kind of pain and suffering in her life, or she is one of the character in her novel, or she must have experienced the same thing which she is depicting in her novel or poem. So this is the thinking of our society regarding women writer. But for women writer, their writing have given them a voice to reveal their thoughts and feeling in front of the world. It has given them identity which is equivalent to their male counterpart. For them, literature has become a medium to express personal thought and experience, and this colors their work. They who are well equipped with bundles of memories are able to amalgamate tradition and modern strand that embody their real life experiences and are able to express through their creative work. It is also helping in depicting their genuine problem. I think all the women writer, or mostly all the women writer around the world, will agree with this point that by writing they are expressing themselves, they are expressing their pent up desire which they have kept in their heart and mind from a long time, or sometimes it is the feeling which they have poured in their writing. It is somewhat like the fire of burning desire. When we see women who show anger in their writing, or women who show anger or frustration in their writing, it is something like fire of burning desire. It is the feeling like many unfulfilled desire of their life which they have not been able to fulfill, and this they are trying to pour in their writing. So as Deshpande, who is essentially a self-taught person, says, I quote, for a woman writer, the awareness of I am me embraces the knowledge I am not the other as well. For her, this thought is both revelation and the turning point. Because here I have to say something which is already a clique. We have always been the other. Written about. We have had to accept the nature of our being through the vision of other. But once you see yourself through your own eyes, it is like the dawn. Since ages, women were part of male writing. They were portrayed either as a symbol of beauty or as a symbol of sacrifice, and they were character in males writing. They have never expressed their own desire or feelings through their writing. So they were someone which were depicted. They were not the one who have expressed themselves. So women writing through their writing have shown the hardship, predicament and strategies of survival which women are inflicting in this tradition bound society. They have shown the struggle of women caught between tradition and modernity. Shashi Deshpande has raised many problems regarding the existence of women through various women character in her novel. In Roots and Shadow, she has shown a woman going against the wishes of the family and marrying a person of her choice. This is tradition conservatism. See, we are not against men, we are not anti men, we are anti patriarchy. It is not always that male are favor of patriarchy. Many times it is women also who support patriarchy. So against patriarchy is our viewpoint. We are not against men. So Akka, who is a rich childless widow, being an autocratic and tradition, she maintains absolute control over her brother's children. Indu is an existential character of Deshpande's, and they depicting choice, freedom, and existence. As one of the famous critic Manjari Shukla remarks, I quote, Indu broods over the fate of women in a large family and deeply resent the fact nothing more than puppet, without any identity, voice, or nature. But her revolutionary idealism find no takers in the family, unquote. Writes what she wishes for the sake of money. In this way, though she had a love affair before marriage, but now love is missing in the marriage. See, for I have seen many example of love marriages around me in the in my society. But the thing is that all this love affairs and all are before are the are affair before the marriages, and after the marriage it is ultimately husband and wife, and most probably they are male and women. Slowly the same attitude develops between them of male female. Dark Holds No Terror, other novel, Deshpande has depicted the predicament of a woman who is professionally better than her husband. Now, this is also one of a critical issue existing in our society, a patriarchal society, that if a woman is earning more than her husband's ego hurt. Her husband is not able to accept his wife earning more and being professionally better than him. So this is the cause of suffering of Sarita, resulting in the sexual sadism by her husband. Sarita or Saru is a successful doctor, while her husband Manu is an inter-college lecturer. So there is a difference between better than men in almost every field. Deshpande tells about the novel. I quote, The Dark Holds No Terror has been shaped by Saru's emotion so violent and intense that I had to slow pedal the telling so as not to slip into melodrama and overstatement, unquote. So Deshpande and not only this, but Deshpande has also written two detective or thriller novel, If I Die Today and Come Up and Be Dead. In these two novels, she has taken up the issue, psychological issue, because of psychological reasons, emotional security, or any other reason, women can also commit crime like murder. So if such situation, if any situation, if a woman is based in a situation which is adverse and not favorable, then she can also indulge in anti-social activities. We have seen many example of women also committing crime. So in that long silence, she has shown Jaya, the protagonist of the novel, a character whose intellectual self is grappling up with the emotional self. In the novel, in which she hinges upon the silence of women in the patriarchal construct, where she is not allowed to express her experience, desire, and belief, just has to listen to her male counterpart. This happened mostly in husband-wife relationship, but I think that now situation is changing. So Deshpande says about the novel, in that long silence, Jaya's desperation was mine. Some of her ideas about women and her roles, about women's life and silence, were mine. That is all. She further says, this was Jaya's story. It was not a novel about Jaya. It was Jaya's novel, the one it was writing. Jaya, the wife of a man who has been charged with forgery, but surprisingly her husband Mohan accuses her for all his deeds. Actually, the thing is that sometimes there is a problem of communication between husband and wife. It is not that if you communicate, if you feel scared, sometimes it happens that women or wife are so scared about so scared she is not able to communicate with him. So this is one of the issue prevailing in the Indian society and maybe in around the world as well. So her next novel, A Matter of Time, is a novel in which she has discussed about wife desertion. Sumi's what happens when a wife is being deserted by a husband after many years of marriage. Sumi's husband Gopal walks out on her, leaving her with 3 daughters. After many years of marriage, Sumi is left alone in the world with her fate and daughters. Being jobless, she has only choice to go back to her parents' house. Now, this is not accepted in our society. Even parents of the daughter, they don't accept their daughter if they come home, divorce or being left by their husband. For them, their daughter place is in their husband's house only. So, a novel by illustrating her stand on it. I know this. I quote, I know this. I was absolutely clear about his confusion. The author can never afford to be ignorant. When I write a novel, I need to know even the things the character do not know. I have to present even their ignorance from the standpoint of knowledge, unquote. So after Gopal's desertion, Sumi tried to start a new life. She takes up a job as a teacher in the school. She takes interest in writing plays. She even start finding house for herself and her daughters. In this way, Sumi tries to build her life independently and according to her own wish. Means after his Gopal's desertion, she becomes a strong woman. To some extent, she is able to succeed as she is start working in a school and also takes up writing as a hobby. But finally, even as she is emerging out of the situation, she dies in an accident. The death of Sumi is quite surprising. In fact, Deshpande claims that she was herself surprised by her sudden death, but she wanted to give this tragic and to the novel, though it hurts even to her also, and this ending is very hard to accept. In Binding Mind, she has discussed about rape and marital rape. Now, marital rape is one such issue which is not being discussed, or since 1 or 2 years now people have started discussing about it, but Deshpande was the first novelist to discuss this issue, and she has portrayed this in not only one but another novel also. So in marital rape is something which is not reported much in the society. Urmi, the central character of the novel, who is lamenting over the death of her only daughter, finds the diaries of her long dead mother-in-law, Meera. She finds that she was not happy in her married life. The novelist tells about Meera herself. I quote, Meera, a poet who died young. Meera, who becomes for me the most important person in the novel, holding the different stand together. Meera came to me from my childhood. From the child I was, listening in the early hour of morning, while still in bed, to a man voice singing, the voice coming closer, then fading away. The memory became Meera, and out of this the poet developed. In this novel, Deshpande has also discussed about a rape incident. Kalpana, a young girl, was raped by one of her relatives. Though being victim, still she is being blamed by all, as it is the reflection of society. Urmi tries to help her mother to get justice, and she is successful in her attempt. This novel depicts a problem of grave concern that girls and women are not safe in their own houses. So this issue of rape is something where a victim is held guilty, and throughout her life she feel embarrassed physical relation with another married woman before marriage. So there is a separate parameter for male and women in the society. Male can do anything, but women, there are taboos, there are social restrictions for women. In the context of small remedies, Deshpande says, I quote, all these years I worked with a sense of frantic haste, with a panting sense of losing time, anguish at every little thing that comes in the way of my guest, visitor, a phone call, an engagement, bad health. For the first time with this novel, I lost this sense of frenetic haste. I found myself working on easier pace, which was good because this was story that was to be uncovered slowly and gradually. It demanded a relapsed pace. Unquote. As she also believed that people are complex, undecipherable, and protean. There is no absolute about them. This she says in her novel Moving On. The novel Moving On is about secret lives of men and women who love, hate, plot and debate with an intensity. Manjari, the central character and the reader of her father's diaries after her father's death, while clearing up the paper, discovers his diary. The diaries are a supplement, and their context hold surprise for Manjari that reveal the images of her father cease to remain external and become internal. As Shashi Deshpande herself says, I quote, memory and picture of past, dream, hopes and plans for the future, these are as real to us as present. So this novel is about family, of personal spaces, of emotional wounds and intrusion which males and women, males and female faces in their life. Deshpande believed that the family is a timeless and universal institution. Everything being here, everything that happened outside the family mirror what happened within. So there are many things which happen outside the family, and which also become a part of the internal things. So Deshpande, after writing 9 novels and many short stories and children books, still she was not satisfied, as her feeling can be summed up in the following lines, where she is speaking about the regret while she feel and what is still void in her writing. This also shows the attitude which some writer possess, and which is also necessary for keeping the creativity to move on as we see, she has many regrets. There are few regrets. I have not yet written the first class mystery novel. I have always hoped to write my failure with the two crime novel I tried my hand at. Still wait on me. I also know that Devyani, a character from all those novels, is still waiting for me to write another, to give her a stage on which she can play a role again. I don't know whether I will ever be able to join this. So, uh, uh, there are she wrote two crime novel, but she thinks that was not able to give proper emotion and feeling to those novels, and she thinks that those two novels are not so successful. And then she wrote In the Country of Deceit, in which he gave the central character named Devyani. Devyani chooses to live alone in the small town of Rajnoor after her parents' death. Her family and friends try to dissuade her in living alone, but she ignores them. Teaching English, creating a garden, and making friends with Rani, a former actress who settles in the town with her husband and three children. Devyani life is tranquil, imbued with a hard-won independence. At this stage of her life, she meets Ashok Chinappa, who is new district superintendent of police of Rajnoor, and they fall in love, despite the fact that Ashok is much older, married, and has both painfully and has painfully acknowledged from the very beginning that it is a relationship without a future. Means he is not going to accept her, as he already has a wife and a family. So these are the some various novels. Only one novel is missing in this, and that is Shadow Play. So by going through all her novel, I feel that Shashi Deshpande has given voice to the feeling, problem, and frustration of Indian women. Uh, she has discussed many problems related to the existence of women in our society, how they are adjusting with the norms and tradition which they are against them. In this way, she has tried to establish women as an individual who breaks loose from the traditional constant and redefine her identity in tune with the change social ambience of the modern time. Though Deshpande primary focus of attention is the world of women, the struggle of women in the context of uh, the struggle of women in the context of modern Indian society, but at the but at the same time she successfully articulate the doubt and fear of her men character as well in this traditional area. There are many times which males also suffer due to tradition or other situation. So Deshpande has tried to make her women character stronger than they are in real life. Rather, she has exposed their passivity, anxiety, and confusion, as we witness in the silent throughout the ages. But this cannot be termed as only a history of women. It is the history of entire humankind if it is accepted. She further quotes the age-old belief, attitude, and notion prevalent in the patriarchal society towards women and which are still prevalent in the society. And are trying to champion themselves by creating a space amidst all kind of adverse situation. Like she further quotes the age-old belief, attitude, and notion prevalent in the patriarchal society towards women and which are still prevalent in the society. Uh, be silent about what you think. Apply not just to women writer. It means it is meant for all women, which means that even about the small world that is there. In other world, women writer are doubly confined. For them both as women and as writer, it is only this little space of domestic life that is available, and their words have to be limited, confined writing space as well. So, through highlighting the problem, Deshpande has given the solution also. She believes that women should communicate, because through communication one can find solution to many problem. Like as a scholar, me and most of my friends, we were in the beginning of our career as a research scholar, we were bit hesitant to write about issues of women like rape or sexual molestation. Even like sometimes in our own family or among gathering, we feel a little bit hesitant to speak this word, because we are told not to speak these kind of words it is something against women dignity, means we are asked to be silent. And there are many other things, like if some mishappening occurs to a woman, like molestation, sexual abuse, or eve teasing and all, from a young, whether she is a young girl or a old elder woman, she is asked to be silent most of the time. So Suman Bala remarks about Shashi Deshpande. Shashi Deshpande novels are the contemporary. Shashi Deshpande novels depict the contemporary struggle to define and attain on selfhood, and underline the need to eschew the authoritarian and submission syndromes in order to attain liberated self-actualization. Unquote. So, through writing so many novels and other books, Deshpande herself is not happy with the response she mostly gets from the male writer. They often termed her as a woman writer for writing for women, as almost her protagonists are female. See, I have discussed all these novels just to show that Deshpande's writing, and because Deshpande has written the problems of women existing in our society, so she is termed as woman writer, and males don't feel happy with the kind of her writing. Her novels are considered to be read mostly by the women. In this context, she says that, I quote, is writing by women only for women. To follow this through logically is to go on to the next question. It's women writing a different genre, a separate from men. There is no doubt that gender is one of the most important factors affecting our lives. The first question asked after birth is, it is a boy or a girl? And of course, it is true that men and women are different. We differ in our bodies, our attitudes, our way of looking at things, our emotional behavior. Some of these differences are inherited, while a great many come out of our social conditioning, unquote. So the question raised by Shashi Deshpande is of vital importance, because although many women writers have acclaimed themselves internationally around the world, whether it is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or European writer, African writer, American writer, Australian writer, but they are facing gender discrimination in the literary world. They are often categorized as women writer. It is their desire that they want their writing to be acknowledged on the basis of quality and not on the basis of gender. So a writer like Deshpande, through her writing, has given a voice to the common women belonging to all parts of the society. Kudos goes to her that a writer like her around the world are trying to highlight the issue, and they are successful in their attempt. So, this is the view of not only Shashi Deshpande, but there are many writers who have the same view, like Bapsi Sidhwa and Taslima Nasreen. They also have the same view that women writers should be acknowledged on the basis of the quality, not on the basis of gender. So thank you everyone. And one thing I want to say that the title of this paper was given by my friend Shaista Irshad, Shaista Masih, sorry, Shaista Masih. I think she is present just now. Thank you, Shaista, for giving such a wonderful title. Thank you everyone for patiently listening.
Thank you, Shimnaz. It was really a lucid lecture. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, 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 Shaista. Yes,
Yeah. Am I audible?
yes, yes.
Thank you, Shimnaz. It was a lucid lecture.
Engaging lecture, and it is always a pleasure to listen you and to the detailed analysis which you gave on based on the analysis on Shashi Deshpande's writing. We unveiled a new image of women in literature, obviously, and you just presented a picture which in its totality, and it's like very fascinating to literature or women in societies are still caught between feudal values and fast approaching new light. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us this informative lecture. And I must say that Shashi Deshpande's fiction should be valued, and with the background of feminism, and which is the depiction of culture and the women which are caught in
Feminism also, like in the same way there are other feminist writers who are against patriarchy. So Shashi Deshpande is a writer who says that if feminism is anti-man, then I am not a feminist. Feminism should be for better understanding of human relationship. Means feminism doesn't mean that you should be anti-man, you should take up a sword, or you should take up a sword of language, and you should always hit, means you should always attack man with your writing or with your knee. No, we want the equality. Means we are if we have we are different, you are different, our bodies are different, our qualities are different. You are superior in your sense, I am superior in my sense. Means, like for example, sometimes some feminists think that being means like drinking and smoking is feminism. No, this is not feminism. Means if a man is drinking, if a man is smoking, that is also wrong. So if that is wrong for men, then that is wrong for women also. Means that is wrong for human being. Whatever is wrong for human being, it is wrong both for man and female also, both. But if and the thing is that the quality of acceptance. Males have separate quality, we have separate quality. Neither we are inferior nor males are inferior. They are good in other way, we are good at other ways. So this acceptance as an individual is what Shashi Deshpande believes. Not like superior. She does not believe in superior and inferior. She believes that men are different in their own aspect, women are different in their own aspect, and they both constitute to build up a society, and that society will only be happy, healthy society when there will be equality in a sense that feminism should be for better understanding of human relations. Means women should understand male's quality, and male should understand women's quality, and we should respect each other. There should be not the relationship between tyrant and oppressed. So she is never anti-feminist, means anti-men. She believe in anti-patriarchy. So even women can be supporter of patriarchy. It is not only the men who always supporter of patriarchy. It is many times women also who are supporter of patriarchy. So this idea of patriarchy is wrong, which Shashi Deshpande opposed. And if we see our Indian feminism, we see that always men have supported women. in their endeavor, whether it is Amir Khusro in her poem काहे को ब्याहे विदेश लकिया बाबुल, अब जो किए हो दाता ऐसा न कीजो, अगले जन्म मोहे बिटिया न कीजो. Through this poem, Amir Khusro has poured the pains and suffering of girls and women in his writing. And in the modern, then later on, there were many writer Hindi literature also, in other literature. Then there were Akbar did some reforms in the field of women, like he raised the age of marriage. He supported widows remarriage. Then the revolution came with Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy brought a revolution, and Gandhi ji was another favor of women's freedom. So in India, it is always, many times it has been males who have supported women's. So we cannot say that feminism means anti-men, and Shashi Deshpande is also of same opinion.
Dr. Shamanaz, then it can be said that Shashi Deshpande is for women empowerment.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Women empowerment doesn't mean anti-men. Women empowerment means making ourselves strong. Making ourselves strong. Means, see, we are living in a world where there are men. And we need men in every sphere of life, whether it is husband, father, brother, friends, or lovers, boyfriend, anything. We need men. So, colleagues. So why not have a healthy relationship? And this relationship will be healthy when we will respect each other. We will respect them, and they will respect us as an individual.
True. Yeah.
Actually, Dr. Shamanaz, we have to choose the path of harmony for a healthy relationship. What do you want to say?
Exactly. The power of harmony, because we cannot build there is no feminist utopia. We cannot build a world where there are no men. We are living in a world where there are men. So when there are men, we have to keep a harmony between all kind of gender. Even transgender, we should keep harmony with the transgender also.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering in such an apt way. Anyone else, if you want to ask a question from Dr. Shamanaz?
I just want to thank you, Dr. Shamanaz. Unfortunately, the voice was sometimes coming and going. Maybe technical problems in your part or in my part, I don't know. But I got the gist of your talk. I agree with you. We are not the enemy of men, and feminism should be considered in the frames of human rights. We are not really anti-men or anti-society, and also we have to be fighting or trying to enlighten other female persons that they are against feminism. I think women are also giving lots of problems to the women somehow, and talking and thinking with the male chauvinist voice. So I totally agree with you that we have to live together in harmony in the society. Thank you, Dr. Shamanaz, and thank you, Ms. Mumtaz. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you to everyone who asked the questions. If anything else is required if you want to address Dr. Shaminaz? If you want to say something, we can just have a discussion. You know, we can extend the discussion. Obviously, we are enjoying, and everyone is enjoying. Hopefully, any question from anyone's side?
I just asked that whether I can get the via email the lecture.
Yes,
so
sure,
that I
sure,
can-
ma'am. Sure, I'll send you. I'll send you just now.
That would be lovely. Thank you. Thank you. And have a great Sunday to everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope like all the confusions and queries are now clear. And moving ahead, I would just like to ask Dr. Shahnaz to give vote of thanks and to end today's lecture. Dr. Shahnaz, over to you, ma'am. You are unmute, ma'am. Please, you are on mute, ma'am. Please unmute yourself. Can't hear you.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Shaminaz, for such an erudite and elaborate lecture on endorsing women's literature as women's literature. Shashi Deshpande's criticism of gender-based literary analysis. Thank you, Ms. Dania Mumtaz, for successful moderation in this program. I also take this opportunity to thank all the elite members of PLCS for their valuable participation and discussion over this issue of gender-based literary analysis. Claire Buck calls women writers an unstable category. It is believed that women in some sense constitute a group in spite of their differences. They are allotted a position on the basis of gender. As Dr. Shaminaz has rightly pointed out, that now women writers are demanding equal rights, no more, no less, in a patriarchal society. Caught between tradition and modernity, their works have become the index of their personal thoughts, their experience, their strategies of survival, their struggle. But writers like Shashi Deshpande are facing gender discrimination. They're not considered on the basis of their quality of work. Writers all around the world are trying to highlight this issue and are successful in their attempt. It should be a symbiotic relationship in which both respect each other. The question of women inflicting torture of women is still on the table to be discussed. It can be taken up in some other program. Anyways, we are looking forward to many more enlightening lectures in future from Progressive Literary and Cultural Society. Thank you once again.